There's something I've been thinking a lot about lately, and it keeps coming back to me even when I'm busy. That service has gone downhill. Over the last 10 years, especially, we've seen it go down. People expect to be tipped before they actually provided a service, and people comply. So the effort drops. Now, think about this. You walk into a fast food place and you order at a screen before you pay for getting your food. And then you're asked to tip, and no one ever comes to your table. There's no incentive to provide great service and no accountability when service is poor. So the bar just keeps getting lower. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine starting a business where customers are treated exceptionally well, not because they demanded it, not because someone felt entitled to a reward, but because excellence was the standard. What would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. You'd have more business than you could handle. And this has been on my mind because we're getting ready to scale another business. And I'm paying very close attention to who we're bringing in. I don't want people who expect to be rewarded just for showing up. I want people who pour their heart and soul into what they do, who take pride in their work, who know they did a great job, even if no one notices right away. I want to build something that brings culture back to being customer centric because somewhere along the way, everything became utilitarian, fast, efficient, and transactional, and something important got lost. The hardest part of acting on this is changing mindsets. Most people don't even think about exceptional service anymore because it isn't required anywhere else. So it has to be taught, modeled, and valued. And that's hard when expectations across society have declined. Now, I think COVID played a big role in this. And for a long time, people were just grateful to get any service at all. So the standard dropped and it never really came back. And if we stay where we are, if we just accept being average, we'll probably be fine. But we don't want to be fine. We want to build something scalable. And scalable doesn't come from doing what everyone else is doing, it comes from doing something extraordinary. 10 or 15 years ago, excellent service was expected. You rewarded people for going above and beyond. You didn't reward people for doing the bare minimum. Today, it's almost flipped. Now we just hope nothing goes wrong. And that shift, as frustrating as it is, creates opportunity. The last few years of rebuilding have taught me something important. Lower standards don't just create problems, they create opportunities and openings. And if you're willing to raise the bar when everyone else is lowering it, you suddenly stand out. And I trust myself more than I used to, not because I know everything, but because I've worked with people, I've been in recovery, I understand the environment we're in, and I know what it takes to make things work well. And I know most people aren't willing to go above and beyond anymore. So here's the quiet decision. When we hire, I want to hire people who really need a break, people who've worked on themselves, who've been overlooked, people who understand effort. Those are the people most likely to give more than what's required and then pay it forward when they're given a real opportunity. Commitment here, it doesn't look emotional. It looks practical. It looks like chipping away, staying flexible, watching how environments change, seeing opportunities when they present themselves. And we're not rushing into this. We're proving the model. We're putting processes in place. We're making sure this works before we scale, doing it the right way, even if it takes longer. So, this episode is really for anyone who doesn't want to live the status quo, for anyone willing to step out of their comfort zone, anyone who wants to grow stronger, more engaged, more fulfilled. And if you feel stuck, not because you're lazy, but because you're careful, here's what I'd say: take the chance, risk failure. Failure is an education. It teaches you what doesn't work so you can move toward what does. Don't be afraid to step out and play ball. And here's a small step you can take today. Ask yourself this: what would life look like if you did one thing you always dreamt about? Don't explain why you can't. Just ask, what's one small step I could take toward it without blowing up my life? And do that step. then do the next one and the next. Eventually, what felt impossible will start to feel possible. And sometimes it becomes real, one day better.